What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Show, where every single week I, Graham Giason Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network, as well as on the E Network. As today we're talking Total Divas Season 8, Episode 7, Chase Your Dreams. Another good episode on the whole, kind of focusing on a few different things with Lana and Rusev, who don't really get enough shine together on this show. They have at some certain points in the season, but this episode more than any other. And also on Page, too. So the two stories on this episode are really three. Two of the stories that kind of mended together because they're kind of similar and they involve the same people. So I'll start with those first. That being Brie and Brian are celebrating Birdie Joe's birthday, or lack thereof. Her birthday was a month ago, but Brie didn't want to throw Birdie Joe a birthday party. Rusev sees that and he's like, oh, she should have a birthday party, blah, blah, blah. So Nikki and Rusev planned this surprise birthday party for Birdie Joe. Really surprising Brie and Brian more than anyone else. So we'll talk about that in a moment too. In addition to that, Rusev and Lana are dealing with how when they're going to have kids, which has been brought up here on the show before, but it gets reintroduced when they deal with Birdie Joe, and Rusev falls in love with Birdie Joe and he wants a kid immediately, and Lana's saying that now more than ever she's finally getting opportunities in her career. She just qualified for the Money in the Bank ladder match. She doesn't really want to settle down and have kids right now. So we'll talk about that momentarily. And in addition to that, Paige is settling for a new job. Not leaving WWE, but she wants to experience other endeavors outside of the ring, outside of the pro wrestling industry. She's never really had a real job. She's been wrestling since she was 12 years old. She'll tell you since birth, since her mom was really wrestling with her, with Paige in her stomach. She was wrestling while pregnant, I believe, which is not exactly the safest thing, if I'm not mistaken. But beyond that, what I'm trying to get at here is that Paige never really had a summer minimum wage job growing up before getting into wrestling. So she wants to experience that on this episode as well. So starting with the Brie and Brian stuff, we start off the episode with Brie and Brian watching Birdie. That's a lot of B's there, a lot of B's. And they start discussing modern terms. Brie starts looking up words like lit, not crunk, but Gucci and all this other dumb shit. And Brian's like, okay, if you ever speak of that language again, I'm divorcing you. And I can't say I cannot say I blame him. Those words are I'll use them ironically sometimes, but especially lit, I think that's hilarious as hell. But beyond that, I cannot blame him in that a lot of these words are very cringeworthy, to say the least. Meanwhile, Lana is preparing for her return to TV. She was told, I believe on the last episode, I think it was 2 episodes ago, that she would be coming back to SmackDown and competing in a qualifying match for the Money in the Bank ladder match, the women's version, at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Well, ultimately she qualifies by beating Billie Kay on SmackDown. She looks at herself as the dark horse, and now she wants to train with Brian on how to kind of get acclimated in being in a ladder match. Obviously, she's never been in a ladder match before. Brian's been in a bunch of ladder matches. She goes to him for advice. So, the Bellas are visited, and Brian too, are visited in San Diego by Rusev and Lana. So they go together because otherwise Lana can't really learn the ropes. That's the only real way she's going to be able to learn from Brian is by going to his house. So Rusev absolutely adores Birdie. Like I said, he loves kids, and he would be a great father as seen by the way he kind of interacts and handles Birdie Joe over the course of this episode, even though Birdie Joe's not his daughter. But he absolutely loves Birdie, and that reignites the fire in him that he wants children, ASAP. Not eventually, not at some point, but now. Anyway, Nikki reveals to Rusev that she's been living with Brie now for about 6 months. So this would probably be around April, or I think May. Around May or so. So she must have been living with Brie since December or January, around that point. And Nikki says that Birdie never really had a true birthday party because Brie didn't want one. She never really, the only 3 people that celebrated Birdie Joe's birthday were Brie, Nikki, and Birdie Joe. I don't even think Brian was there. I'm pretty sure Brian was on the road. Yeah, Brian was on the road because they made a point to point that out later on in the episode. So, yeah, so those were the only real 3 people that celebrated their birthday. Rusev's like, well, where I come from, that's atrocious. You have to have this huge celebration. And they're like, fine, let's throw a surprise birthday party for Birdie Joe. Meanwhile, Brian starts giving Lana some ladder tips, like how to hold a ladder, how to carry a ladder. This is what you should be used to in the matchup. And then that's when Brie and Brian start talking to Lana about having kids. And that's when Lana says, really not now. I mean, not that I don't want kids, but I think Rusev's in his 30s. Lana might be in her 30s too. But only now she's starting to get, used to the ring, kind of getting used to being inside the ring and finally getting opportunities, now being in a Money in the Bank ladder match. Because before 2018, she was really only in the ring for about a year. And most of that time, she was on the shelf. She wasn't really doing anything. Not because she was hurt, but they weren't using her. And she's like, well, Brie, you were in the business for 10 years before you finally started to settle down and have a child. So I really should be no different. I really don't want to have it any other way. I really want to there's a lot of things I want to accomplish, specifically in WWE first, before I settle down and have a kid, because it's very difficult to have a child and then get right back in the ring. There are a lot of people who do it, but not immediately. Like Maurice had a child and she wrestled like 6 months later at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. But, she's not a full-time competitor like Lana is. And Maurice was off of TV for like a year and a half, and Lana doesn't really want to have her momentum interrupted right now. So anyway, Rusev and Nikki start planning the birthday party. They get a cake made. One of the traditions in Bulgaria, apparently, is that you have the cake made with the baby's feet in the dough, which is kind of gross, but I don't know. I guess it comes out pretty cute. Even though the baby's feet were in the dough, whatever. Like, how dirty can a baby's feet be when she's not really walking around yet? Maybe that's why they asked her if she was walking yet, because she's being carried the entire time, so maybe that's why they were more at ease with the baby putting her feet in the dough. Anyway. So they put Birdie Joe's feet in the dough. They get the cake made, all this other stuff. They go toy shopping. So I guess they also did this tradition in Bulgaria where they buy all these toys, like one police-themed toys, dancer toys, WWE Superstar toy, and they lay out all the toys. And at the party, whichever one the baby goes to is the one that the baby, that's like going to be their future profession. Obviously, it likely won't be, but it's fun to imagine. So they do that too. Rusev admits to Nikki that he kind of wants kids now. Rusev and Lana also talk about how when they want kids. I think they talk about this in private, and Rusev says he wants a baby now. And Lana's like, I disagree. So they kind of butt heads over that. So Rusev and Nikki go toy shopping, like I said. Rusev then kind of comes to the realization, thanks to Nikki, about how much work would really go into being a parent. It's really not as easy as, you have a kid, blah, blah, blah. Being on the road and being a wrestler, it's really, it would take its toll. You can't really take care of a child and be on the road at the same time. Rusev never really realized that. He just wants a baby ASAP. So then he's like, maybe not right now is the best idea. So Lana said, I want to be the best mom possible, and I don't think I can do that if I was competing right now and we're both in the grind of WWE. So I want to be a mom, but just not right now. And then right after that, let's see, what did they leave off here? So Brie talks about Lana's progress and, coming forth and getting ready for the ladder match. She talks about how much better Lana's gotten and getting ready for the ladder match, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay, so here's where I left off. Brie talks to Lana about what she was thinking about. So while Nikki talks to Rusev, Brie talks to Lana. And Brie just tells Lana, you'll know when the time is right. You'll know when you want to have a kid, blah, blah, blah. And that's when Lana says that she wants to be the best mom possible, which is why she does not think right now is the best time. So they throw the surprise 13-month birthday party, and I say 13-month because it's about a month late, but it's a birthday party nonetheless. Brie's not initially thrilled because she doesn't really like extravagant parties. She likes to keep it simple, but then she's happy that, Brian can be a part of it because he was on the road when they first celebrated Birdie Joe's birthday, so she comes to enjoy herself and like the idea of a surprise party being thrown for Birdie Joe. So Rusev and Lana go outside, they talk about having kids. And Rusev's like, you don't have to worry about it right now. I realize that you have your goals and ambitions. You should chase your dreams, and that we can wait to have kids so you can achieve that stuff. And Lana's really happy to hear that. So that's those two stories. The third story in the show, like I said, is about Paige never really having a real job. And she discusses that at the start of the show with the other girls backstage, like Zelina Vega, Daza Fuentes, all the women of SmackDown. So that makes her realize that she wants to, quote-unquote, work at a real job, kind of get experience at other jobs to see, not that her WWE time is ever going to come to an end. Obviously, she's not wrestling anymore, but she wants to experience something outside of WWE. So her and Nia, why she brings Nia with her, I'm not sure. She really just wanted someone to do it with, and Nia's not really thrilled. To begin with, when Paige first tells her, Nia's like, what are we going to be doing on our day off? And then Paige goes, we're going to work at a pizzeria for today, just because it's a proper job and it would give her more experience, all this other garbage. Nia, like I said, not initially thrilled about that, but at least it's something. Just because, it's something for them to do. So Paige wants to try it out, Nia gives it a shot, and Paige wants the work experience, and she finds out that there is way more that goes into it than just making the pizzas. It's dealing with customers, doing this, doing that. And Nia admits that maybe Paige's personality is not really cut out for a job like this. At least not even really being in a pizzeria, but just like any regular job. Paige's personality is more cut out for what she does currently inside the ring. And they go to the chef afterwards. They ask who is better. And, he admits that Nia did the better job, so Nia wins that one. Then they drive pedicabs, which is like those little like bicycles that you can have carts in the back. You see a lot of those on like tourist attractions, New York City, places like that. So Paige and Nia both try that out. Nia ends up giving up because she's just way too sweaty. She's way too tired. So Paige wins that round. She's like keeping track in her head, which is kind of shitty, but whatever. So Nia gives up on that one. And the third one they try out is working at a bowling alley. And they have to try a few different things, from cleaning pins, grabbing like spare balls that kind of went down to the like the gutter or whatever, like that kind of gets stuck. They have to grab those. Digging through the garbage to find some old woman's glasses, which were never really lost in the first place. She just simply misplaced them, so they went through the garbage for nothing. So that causes Paige to quit first. So Nia really wins 2 rounds to 1 if we're keeping track here. And then Paige admits that, she enjoyed the experience, maybe realizing that those jobs aren't really for her, but she was grateful to have tried something different than what she's really used to. And it's kind of a breath of fresh air compared to being in the WWE realm 24/7. So that does it for Season 8, Episode 7, Chase Your Dreams of Total Divas, that aired this past Wednesday on the E! Network. I'm not really sure when we're going to be approaching the end of Season 8. I know this is Episode 7, rather, so I'm sure Season 8 will be wrapping up at some point in the not-so-distant future. A new episode airing next Wednesday on the E! Network at 9 o'clock, immediately following NXT, so be sure to check that out. Nonetheless, guys, be sure to like this video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more content. With all that being said, guys, have a great rest of your weekend. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.